Well, I'll be here in a second.
Hi, I'm Em. Has it been a second?
Whenever...
She's texting her boyfriend. We're supposed to be working right now.
Does it ever occur to you that when someone's like, can we get Italian tonight? Can we eat Mexican tonight? That it kind of sounds slightly cannibalistic? And I'm
Hi,
Liv.
I'm Em.
And I'm Liv. And we're your better psychics. Like, really? I don't know if it's like a language thing. Like, if you're speaking a different language, do you say, I want to get this type of food, but not like, I want to eat Italians?
I really want Olive Garden now.
Today, we're doing listener stories. And if you guys are new to this channel, I'm Liv, this is Em, which we already said, but we're also psychic mediums, twin flames, best friends, and comedic geniuses! And we're going to talk about our listener stories that all of our sidekicks, whether you're new or about to become one, that have sent in to us today, and it's going to be awesome.
But since we're psychic mediums, we have the ability to read into your stories and know what was actually going on. And if you guys want to get in on the next one, make sure to go down to the link in the description or the pinned comment, and you'll be able to go to our website to submit your spoopy, paranormal, and all that kind of thing stories to us so we can do another listener stories with you featured. Featured. Also, here's a playlist if you want to see more. So this story is called Pushed in the Middle of the Night.
Push it to the limit.
And it's brought to you by Jesper R. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
No, it has an E. Jesper.
So, here's how the story goes. Are you ready to put your mediumship hat on?
Wait.
I've always been sensitive to paranormal stuff, and it really got proven one special night when me, my parents, and my younger brother lived in our old house that an old couple apparently had died in. I did always hear tapping noises in my room at night time, and only nighttime, since during the day there was never any noises. It was like something in my room knew when it could try to communicate with me when I was most likely to hear it. I mostly sleep with my face against the wall in my room since I always felt that I wasn't alone there. You get anything yet?
Well, first, Jesper, were you named after somebody? That's the first thing I got, and then I had to be like, wait, focus on the story, not the person!
God.
Yeah. I feel like you were named after a really cool dude that has a nice mustache. Yeah, my egotistical brain goes, oh, tapping in the night? That's just a poltergeist. But then I saw a little boy. So
Interesting.
I don't know if it's a poltergeist or a little boy. My egotistical brain says geisty, but my mediumship brain says, why is there a little boy here?
Continuing the story. But one night when I had fallen asleep, facing against the wall, I was pushed on my left shoulder area, and just as I woke up and noticed the pushing, it stopped. I was listening if it was my younger brother or my parents trying to wake me up, but I suspected it wasn't them because they usually whisper my name when they try to wake me up, or you could at least hear their footsteps on their way out. This time, there was no whispering, nor any footsteps, so I was just laying there in my bed thinking to myself, holy shit. That did not just happen. And I just had to accept that I had something in my room that just woke me up. And to solidify the story for any non-believers.
Shun the non-believers! Shun them! Shun them! Can you please put Charlie the Unicorn in here?
I asked my parents and my brother the night after if they tried to wake me up in the middle of the night, and all of them said no. Yeah. So what do you see? What was touching his shoulder?
Oh, I think it's a little boy.
So it was a little boy?
Yeah, he's like 5 or 6, and he wanted to like talk to you because he knows you have a younger brother, but your younger brother isn't sensitive like you are. So he was like, hey, do you want to go play Legos? He's really cute. I don't think it's the old people. They might know him, but the old people don't really haunt your house that much.
Yeah, I don't see them in there.
They're not like active. They're very polite old people.
Yeah,
I think it's a little boy, and he just wanted to talk to you, which is interesting. He thought that you were cool because I don't think he had an older brother. No, he said he did have an older brother, but he passed when he was younger, so he just liked you.
He's connected to the house.
I'm sorry. I was looking at something from a different time. it wasn't like a simple answer. I want to say yes and no.
Do you see his mom and dad?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't think his mom and dad are haunting it.
Mm-mm.
Interesting. Does he live in like a farm-ish type area? Or something with a lot of land?
I don't know. It's
then
hard
what were you
because...
seeing?
Oh, I was seeing like people going into a town like on a wagon.
Okay.
Oh, like he traveled to this town.
Okay.
With his family, and then he might have gotten sick or lost or something. But he doesn't talk about his family. It's like he doesn't know what happened to them necessarily.
Okay, well, I see a woman. She has brown hair. It's kind of straight. And then I see a man who has a straight hair, but it's kind of shaggy, but he tries to, like, make it nice, but it doesn't stay because he has a lot of colics in his hair. And the man works a lot because I see him in, like, a suit, and sometimes he has this weird hat, and he has a briefcase that he, like, goes to places. They are, like, upper 30s. Both of them, because it's the little boy. Does he have brown hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he looks like them. I don't know if he like took the train or something. He's showing me like the man took the train to get to his job.
Interesting.
You don't see them at all.
No, this little boy makes me feel like he's older.
Yeah, I see the little boy, and it's like, okay, he looks 6.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the people that you're seeing could be his sister and her husband?
I don't know.
He makes me feel like the woman you're talking about is like his sister, not necessarily his mom.
Why is she significantly older than him?
I don't know, they didn't have birth control back then, so you could have big age differences between siblings. Anyways, I don't know. I don't think it's I'm just like talking to him, and he's like, it's hard to, it's like he doesn't have the answers to some things because he doesn't know, because he was 6.
Yeah, well, I think that these people are his parents.
Okay.
I don't think that this was his sister. But maybe something happened to them.
Well, it's not a poltergeist, Jesper, so you know. That's good. So, this one is called The Old Oak Tree, which is why I want to read it, because trees make me excited. It is by Maria G. Thank you, Maria. Background content. Maria says, I grew up in a terrifying house, both supernatural and physical. Being a latchkey kid who was being abused, I often spent my time outside in the woods, by the brook, or under 2 oak trees in my front yard. Present, well, like a month ago, I'm a vivid lucid dreamer, and I often feel non-PC, so my brain computer generated people are also in my dreams too. Maria says, in my dream I was sitting by myself when an entity came up and sat next to me. She felt so familiar, but I could not place her at first. She told me how she loved me and loved watching over me. I was never alone and that she needed to say goodbye. I was so upset, I hugged her, and when I did, I realized she was one of the old oak trees. Oh, I'm gonna die, it's so fucking cute. The feeling of loss was, I can't explain it, but I woke up sobbing. I told my husband and friends about it, and it made me feel better. But I knew it was real. However, a week later, my husband and I decided to get food in my old town. He ended up choosing to take my old street on the way. I never drove by because, well, you probably know why. Anywho, when we drove by, I stared in disbelief. The new owners had cut down the big oak tree. It had been over 10 years since I looked at that house, and now there was only pieces of freshly cut oak tree in the front yard with shavings all around them. Oh, it's so cute, I want to cry. I know she said goodbye, and I knew it was real, but to see it, I mourned her out of respect for a while and still do. I just wanted to share my story of how even when you don't know it, in your darkest times, there is always someone who loves you. Love your videos and podcast. Best wishes, Maria. Oh, Maria, count me in. Let's go talk to trees together.
So is she talking to the tree? Or is the woman associated with the tree?
The woman's associated
okay,
with
great.
the tree.
Because I was like, you're not the tree, are you? But I don't know if this is real because I'm getting too much information.
Yeah, no, it's funny because for me, if trees get cut down like that, it's not necessarily, I'm sorry, the woman is talking, she's showing me things. Well, the tree is showing me things on behalf of the woman. Because the tree sounds different. It breathes, like, really cool. I like it. And it's telling me about the woman in the tree that was there with you. It's like she could see all of the things that went on in the house from the outside. So you know how people on the internet don't like our tree video because we put a hole in the tree for the hammock? And people are like, how would you think the tree would like having being spirit?
You just wanted
like
a nose ring. Nose ring.
Yeah, well, you have to understand that trees, it's like anthropomorphizing something. So anthropomorphizing, if you guys don't know, it means giving human characteristics to non-human things. In that specific terminology, it means to animals, which annoys me because I anthropomorphize animals, but I'm also a pet psychic, so I feel like anthropomorphization is correct but also incorrect in different ways. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is you can't anthropomorphize on trees because trees don't view things like that in the same way. Because without trees, we wouldn't be alive because there wouldn't be oxygen. So trees are literally the givers of life. So when you do things like that, if it's not a mean thing or out of spite or whatever, like hanging a hammock up in it, that's not something that they would be upset about. It's not
like
the
making
same.
your home in it.
Yeah, and that's literally what they're here to do, is to help people and animals and continue life.
A tree is a home.
Yeah, I mean, you guys make your houses out of trees. So.
Yeah, it's literally a home.
It's what they're supposed to do. It's like in Toy Story when the little tiny aliens are happy to get taken out of there because they're like, the claw chooses who will stay and who will go. And you're like, oh no, you're gonna get taken. And they're like, no, this is my destiny. Trees. So I'm asking, like, why did this woman decide to visit this girl now that the tree is knocked down? Because you've given her the impression that the tree is dead, which makes her sad. And it's really cute because she says that things are only there for you as long as you need them, and once you don't need them anymore, they are let go. So it's like you yourself, Maria, have been able to heal from the things that happened to you from your childhood home, whether you believe it or not. And it's like the reason your husband drove down that street to show you was it was like the biggest release of shadow work ever. Does that make any sense?
Kind of.
It's like, I don't know if you've been feeling like you've been stuck with the things in your past, but that was your cue of you are ready to let them go.
Got you.
You don't need them anymore. Which is really cute. Like, you've grown enough that it's fine to let it go, just like the tree and the woman. So is this
woman a spiritual being?
Yes.
Because she gives me, like, spirit guide vibes, but she's not attached to you or, like, associated necessarily in the same way.
She's, like, transient is what she wants me to tell you.
What does that mean?
Her existence, because the way I perceive her is very much like a woman, like a human person. Yeah. But she says her ability to help you growing up as a child is transient. It's like the stepping stone of her soul going to move on to something else.
Right.
So it's like she was a human soul, and then her job was to be in that tree for that little girl. It's like she didn't reincarnate, but she did.
Okay.
Do you see it anyway? Different?
I don't know. They're telling me about my grandpa. Okay. My grandpa's talking to me now. My grandpa used to tell me about the trees that he planted in his yard because he's like, they were little trees and then they got really, really, really big. And they're like, that connection that you have when you plant a tree and watch it grow is the connection that this woman had with this girl, with Marie. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say too.
Oh, yeah.
Of she was there to help you and watch you grow, but now you no longer need her, which is why she came to tell you. It was almost like a thank you too.
This one is called Ghost Hunting Gone Wrong by Alexis B. You know who you are. I have always been somewhat sensitive to the paranormal. This is exactly how the last one started. There is a legend in my family about the firstborn woman being psychic. It started after one of my great-grandmothers was born with a veil. This is referring to an childbirth, where the baby is born in the amniotic sac. Oh, that's what the veil is?
It's supposed to mean that you're going to be a seer or something.
Oh,
it's
weird.
Like a very common lore. I'm surprised.
I know. That's why I'm like, why am I not know about that?
You always know.
Probably because
like
it
that.
freaks me out a lot. It's fine. Supposedly, there is a rumor that if a child is born with that veil, they are able to see and speak to spirits. Ever since this event, every firstborn woman in my family has claimed to see the dead. I am firstborn and have many experiences in my lifetime. At first, I was mostly seeing things in my mind's eye. I like to describe it as an old film rolling movie very fast, almost like a stop motion film. That's how it works for me too. I would go to my friends' houses and ask them about what I was seeing, and they would confirm everything I said as these spirits were appearing to them too. I had no prior knowledge of any haunting beforehand. I wonder if you have these abilities also because people told you that, like, people were very open about it in your family, if that makes sense. So they're like, you should be able to see spirits, and they told you these stories, so you were, like, more accepting of it too. These things started to get more intense after my older stepsister passed away. It was very sudden and traumatic for our family. I have no idea if it's because I was vulnerable and let down the walls I had placed, or if it was that my gifts finally started to come forward more. I haven't meddled with them a lot, as I am a bit scared of seeing things, and I am usually in denial of what I see. I mostly come to the conclusion that I'm making everything up. One night, I was at a friend's place.
Can I say something?
Yep.
Okay. So, Alexis, I need to tell you right now that the things that you're experiencing and the ways in which you experience them is very consistent with the ways in which Em and I perceive things. Like, there's a lot of overlay of, like, the movie reel. That's how Em perceives things. Seeing things in your mind's eye. That's how I perceive things. And the fact that you grew up with people being more open to it is, like, how I grew up. So, that's super fucking cool. And when you say that you haven't meddled with them, I just need you to understand that you have these gifts, as far as I can tell from what Em is reading to me. And it's not meddling when you are endowed with them. If you are scared of them, that is cool. I was scared of them for a super long time too. Don't let anyone tell you that you can or can't, should or shan't use them. You're not meddling with them. It is just who you are, and it's a part of you. Meddling is like using a Ouija board and summoning fucking Beelzebub. I don't know. So don't look at your gifts as something that almost isn't for you or to meddle with, because
well, you're gonna use them regardless of if you want to or not. It's just how you interact with the world. Everyone does that. Whether you have, like, gifts to see spirits or not, you still have psychic abilities that you're using constantly.
Yeah.
So
I just don't want you to feel like they're not yours or something like that. And I also don't want you to have anyone else tell you that you should or shouldn't do something, because that is up to you. Just because you have them doesn't mean you have to use them.
I think it's because a lot of people say you have to have walls to be a psychic medium. And if you don't have walls, like, scary things happen.
Like when we first started all of this and I thought that I had walls.
Yeah. It's not necessarily, well, okay, it's a lot of times you feel like you need to have walls because other people tell you need to have walls, and that's where you get the, like, negative connotation with, what if I don't have walls? And then you bring scary things to you, so which is why you have walls.
I've just had a lot of people come to me and they're like, I don't want to do this and I know that I have them, but I was told by this other psychic medium person that I had to do it and I needed to talk to them. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Don't feel pressured to do anything. And I don't want you to feel like these aren't for you. Like, the meddling terminology just kind of, like, breaks my heart a little bit, because it's up to you. Don't let anyone pressure you into anything. Just fucking vibe with yourself, my dude.
So, one night I was at a friend's place and they had told me they were experiencing weird things in their house.
It was me.
They know about my gifts and asked me to take a look and see what I could find. I honestly couldn't see anything for the first half of our little investigation. I think my anxiety about everything prevented me from catching on to any spirits. However, when we went into the basement of their house, always in the basement, I started to get this weird feeling from this closet they had in the kitchen section. they had a finished basement that my friends stayed in. It felt like there was a weight on my chest, and it felt hard to breathe. I opened the closet without saying anything to my friends, only to find that it was mostly empty other than a large bag of rice on the floor. Interesting.
I am the bag of rice.
I don't know why
there's
there's a
starch of your nightmares.
bag of rice on the floor in your basement closet. I took a deep breath and went to the closet door, only to get this image of a man hanging from the ceiling inside of the closet. I couldn't see his face. I usually don't get facial features other than eyes sometimes, but I could tell that he was a younger man, possibly in his early 20s. Suddenly, I felt such intense sadness that I could actually start to cry, and closed the closet door. I had to sit down because I was so out of it. My friends kept trying to ask me what happened, but I was so overwhelmed I didn't speak for a few minutes. We stopped looking for anything paranormal immediately. Since then, I have not been able to go back to the house. Since then, I have not been back to the house.
Okay, that's the other thing that I missed when Em and I started going on our soapbox of like, you can do whatever you want, boo, with your abilities because they're yours and don't feel pressured to do stuff. The other thing that I tell people that are mediums, psychics, whatever, have this more developed abilities, you can ask spirit to show you things in a way that is not scary to you. A lot of people are scared to be open to their abilities because they have this perception of everything is scary because dead things are scary. That is normal to feel, but I need you to understand that when you have these abilities, you have control over what and how you perceive things. Because a lot of things that bother me as a medium is people will say, I can do this, I can tell you that as a medium. You can't do anything. It is what your spirit guides and spirit decide to show you. I don't really believe that I'm actively doing anything. I'm receiving information. So you can ask them to give you the information in a way that is not scary to you. So sometimes, like my mother, she's also a psychic medium if you guys are new to this channel. She doesn't like to get taste or smell because when she used to get taste or smell, it was gross. Bad things, because when you die, sometimes it's not the most pleasant experience. So now, instead of just asking them, and it's funny because she's the one that told me this, of you can have spirit to give you things that are okay and you can control the scariness level of everything. Instead of asking them to not give her bad taste or smell, she just cut it off. She's like, I don't usually get taste or smell because I don't like it. It's not cool to me. And I was like,
no, she said she only gets it when it's really important.
Oh, is it really important?
Yeah.
I talked to her and she said she cut it off, but I know what you're talking about.
We literally have it on film.
No, I get that.
Okay,
but I'm talking
got
about not on film.
Yeah, she says that she only gets it when it's really important, and she usually gets the taste of blood, which is metallic.
Yeah. So if, like in this scenario of you seeing this man in the closet, you can ask spirit, whether it was the soul of this man or your spirit guides or both, to say, can you tell me in a different way that is less jarring and scary? Because I can only imagine that influx of clairsentient information in conjunction with your clairvoyance that immediately made all of it horrible. They could have told you in a different way. So if you ask them, you shall receive it in a nicer way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like you definitely saw something sad. What do you see about that? Because I don't know if he was actually in the closet. I feel like he might have been somewhere else.
He's a weird soul. He makes me feel like he wasn't whole.
I was just gonna say he's very disjointed.
Yeah.
Like when he talks, it's like he goes from one spot and then all of a sudden it goes into something else.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
But he has this really horrible feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But he feels like there's pieces of him missing.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep showing me a slinky going down a staircase. That's the type of energy he feels.
I feel
it's
very
slowly falling down, crawling down to a dark place. In that way a slinky moves.
I feel like he's from the 70s. And when I see him, he glitches. And he'll go from sitting normally at a kitchen table talking about his day to standing up and being angry, and then he'll glitch again and go back to being sad. and then he'll glitch again and go back to being confused. It's almost like he doesn't know where it's at.
Is he really there?
No, I think that's
Why is it like that? I've never talked to a soul that was like that.
There's a soul that's talking on behalf of it. On behalf of him. He has like brown shaggy hair, kind of.
The man in the closet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Like shoulder length.
Yeah.
He makes me feel like the guy from the house with the shotgun.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The house that's in like New England with the shotgun. He killed his sister and his whole family in the beds. What is that one called? Amityville Horror.
Oh, okay.
He reminds me kind of like a skinnier version of the Amityville Horror guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the person in heaven is saying.
Okay. They just like show me he's like all the saturation from his body has been taken away and he feels like he's in multiple pieces and I don't know why it's like that.
It's almost like both. I feel like he wasn't in the closet. I feel like he was outside. So I don't know why he would put himself in the closet. Because I'm asking if it's like a dark thing, but it's not.
Mm-mm. It feels like he was a person, but he like lost things so deeply that it affected his soul. That's why I keep asking you, because I'm like, I didn't think that was a thing. I didn't think that was possible. It's scary. But I don't know if that's real or if he's just like half or like a residual thing. But I also don't see him in spirit, so I don't know. It's scary.
That's okay. I see a man in spirit, and he's wearing all white. He kind of looks like my spirit guide Shaggy, and also like the guy that's in the closet, because Shaggy looks different.
So then is this residual energy?
I'm trying to ask if it's him, and every time I ask if it's him, because he looks similar to the person in the closet, he says no. And I'm like, okay, well then where is the rest of this person? And he's kind of equating it to the Okigahara forest.
Yeah.
That's kind of how
that's the feeling. Is
yeah.
Like I've lost myself because I've been so overly emotional. Like when you are depressed and you literally feel like you've lost a piece of who you are. That's what this thing feels like. I don't know if this is a person or not. That's why it's like horrifying.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, the guy.
Because I'm like, does this happen to people? Because that's horrifying.
No, it's okay. Listen, he gave me the answer.
Okay.
I had to say Okigahara Forest. I was like tripping up on the name, and once I said it, he gave me the rest of the pieces. So the man that is in spirit or heaven that's talking to me on behalf of this glitchy pieces of this person's soul, he says it's like the Okigahara Forest, and the reason this man in heaven is coming to talk to us to explain it is, one, you're scared, and two, he says it's like the Okigahara Forest of like the rock guy who shows people out the other way through the trees and stuff, you know?
Okay.
You remember how I said in the Okigahara Forest, the like deity that's in there that helps the souls pass over says that they have to go to this sort of lesson area? Well, it was too hard for that guy to pass over as is, so they allowed him to leave those pieces where they were.
Okay, got it.
He's dealing with what he needs to in heaven right now, but in order to make the burden easier to bear, they allowed him to leave those pieces there.
Great.
But he's learning on getting them. Like how you said, how he feels so fragmented.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed, like, he was supposed to deal with it when he was alive and he couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So now he has to deal with it the other way because you can't get out of that stuff, and they're letting him put it back together with help.
Got you. It's the boba to his tea.
Yeah.
He's gotta finish the boba balls.
Mm-hmm. But the man in heaven says that it's fine. But don't freak out, you're okay.
Well, I mean, I don't care, but it's just like...
I felt your rising panic.
Well, because I'm feeling what they're feeling.
Okay. I'm feeling what the guy is feeling, which is not panic.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's wild.
Uh-huh.
Alexis, thanks for sending in that brain buster.
So, what did you guys think of all the spoopy stories? You guys want to share what you guys saw during these stories down below?
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Also, if you guys want to get in on the next one, again, the pinned comment or in the description below, you'll be able to go to our website and submit your spoopy, paranormal, or spiritual stories, and we may or may not feature you in the next one. So if you guys like this content, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will see you guys in the next one.
We are your PsycKicks. Sorry, our live stream with Patrick really got me going that we need to do a kick instead.
These are our lovely patrons.
You can join Patreon below and have your story for your spoopy submission be featured or have priority, like Bercy did today. Thanks for your story again, Bercy. Bercy Miriam! Bercy Miriam! Alright, Bercy Miriam Z. We know you, we love you, we appreciate you, and this is their story. Bercy is a Patreon if you guys are interested. So, Bercy says, this story was about 10 years ago and it happened in Mexico. For my grandmother's funeral, we all had traveled to Mexico and it was the day of her burial and we were getting ready to leave for mass. When my father decided to start calling out my name, which is Bercy, and he just kept repeating it. Oh man, I can already tell you it's repeating it because he's freaked out. That's when I run up the stairs to the second floor where he is and I ask my dad, ¿Qué pasó? Basically, what's up in Spanish. That is the only Spanish I know. Also, ¿De dónde es el baño? I think that means my name is the bathroom.
Oh, I was like, you said bathroom. That's all I know.
I was gonna say where is the bathroom, but I can't think about where is right now.
Okay, go on.
Anyways, the internet's gonna say, oh, she said her name is the bathroom.
Is it donde or is it donde Italian? My mom says donde está a lot.
Donde está is very much where is it. There we go.
I know, but that's Spanish?
Wait, did I say donde está el baño?
I don't know, dude.
I don't remember what I said.